Shalom. I want to start off by giving all glory, praises, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the brothers that's teaching this truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect, the 1/3, the sincere listeners. Okay, Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai being the name of his Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Okay, this gospel, this truth, salvation in the kingdom of heaven is for the Israelites, who are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the ones scattered abroad that may look like the other nations, but your spirit resonates with this truth. All right, the kingdom of heaven and salvation is for you. All right. This video is going to be entitled, "What do you mean you don't eat pork?" Right? And what inspired this video is pretty much a situation. That's nothing serious, but I just pretty much wanted to highlight the demons that are really on these people, Esau, Edom, and and all these other nations, but highlighting Esau, Edom's demonic nature. So pretty much, I was at work or whatever, and it was lunch, and I was with my coworkers and whatnot, and we stopped off at a burger restaurant or whatever, and pretty much I didn't get the pork sandwich or the pork bacon burger or whatever. I just got the regular one. All right, because in our laws we're not supposed to eat swine. All right, and the guy was like, "Oh, you don't want the bacon burger?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm just gonna get the regular one." But you don't eat bacon? You know Esau, right? Esau loves bacon, man. Right? So basically, he was offended that I don't, you know what I mean? I didn't get the bacon burger. You know what I mean? That's just the demons on them. Like, you gotta ask yourself, why do you care what the next man eats? You know what I'm saying? As a man, as a grown-ass man, right? Why do you care what another man eats? You see what I'm saying? What does that have to do with you? You see what I'm saying? Why are you offended that I don't eat swine? And that goes for anything. That goes for us not eating shellfish, right? Certain things, right, in this world, right? These women, they eat all type of abominations out of the sea, right? And then they meet you, and you say, "Nah, I don't eat that." And you don't even tell. I'm gonna get into the story, but you pretty much say, "Oh, how come you don't eat it?" It's just not for me. You know what I mean? Because you don't tell them, "Oh, in the scriptures in Leviticus it says here not to eat it." Nah. You tell them, "Oh, I'm allergic," right? Because you gotta supplant these people, man. Because these people are demons. I'm telling you, when they find out you don't eat certain shit, it like triggers them, because it's like, why? What makes you not want to eat this? And they kind of turn against you in a sense. The demons get triggered, man. You see what I'm saying? So he was the guy. He was like, "So you don't eat bacon?" I'm like, "Nah." I was like, "Nah, I don't eat. It's just not for me." He's like, "Oh, is it sacred, or it's just not for you, or is it like a sacred thing?" I'm just like, "Nah, I didn't. It's just not for me. Honestly, it doesn't sit right with me. I've had my fair share of it. And I'm good on that. I don't need it anymore. And that was the answer I gave him. But it's like he was trying to get to the bottom of this shit. Like, why don't you eat bacon? It's bacon. Esau loves his bacon, man. You can't go a day without his bacon or abominable foods. You see what I'm saying? But you just have to give these people an answer like it's not that. Like, don't even talk about religion when it comes to these guys. And the man's such a demon. The man asked me if it's sacred. Like, I ain't no fucking Elamite that worships a fucking cow or worships a pig. Now, Elamites don't worship the pig, but I'm just making that reference. And that's not, you know what I mean? It's just not for me. But like he's just so offended. Like, the demons were triggered And I didn't even say nothing. I'm just mind, I'm mind my business in a sense. You know what I mean? As a man, why are you worried about next man? You know what I'm saying? Only man you're supposed to be worried about is the brotherhood, right? The people in the world, who gives a fuck about them, all right? Your family, you can give a fuck about your family, your immediate family and all that. You see what I'm saying? But other than that, people in the world, who gives a fuck about them, man? Why are you worried about a next man and what a next man's eating? These people have serious demons and issues on them, man. Because I'm not worried about what another man's eating. If you want to eat the abominable foods, that's on you. I know what I'm doing. You do you. Because it's like they hear that you don't eat it, and they feel like you're already pushing your way and value or whatever on them. But it's like, no, I didn't even say nothing like that. You know what I mean? But it's the demons that are on them, man. You see what I'm saying? The demons are just trying to figure you out, because the demons that are on them, the demons actually know who you are. It's just they can't figure it out. You see what I'm saying? Because they have the demons have like a symbiotic connection with the host. But the host don't know what the fuck's going on. The demons know what's going on in them. All right? Like Venom. You see, Venom, the guy, Brock or whatever, Eddie Brock or whatever, he don't know what the fuck's going on, but the demon did. You see what I'm saying? The demon knew, oh, we let's do this and let's do that, and he just had to follow what the demon was saying. That's these people out here, man. A bunch of friggin' symbiotes. A bunch of hosts for symbiotes, man. Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna bring out a couple scriptures. I wasn't planning to make this too long. And yeah. So this is 2 Maccabees chapter 6, going into Esau and what he was trying to do to us, man. The Israelites, right? Not long after this, it says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of Yahweh. See, that's Esau. He's mad that we're keeping our laws, man. That's why that's like antennas raised when I said, nah, I don't eat that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told him it's not for me. I'm saying it calm, chill. I'm not even offended that he asked, because I know he's I know he's the devil. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know you're the devil, so I expect you to be the devil, man, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You're gonna like pork. That's your shit. Eat it, bro. That's your thing. I can give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Fuck. The laws were given to you, man. Nigga, it is what it is. Don't be mad because I'm holy. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, they think we're holier than thou, but we are more holy than these motherfuckers, man. But we're actually striving for perfection. You know what I'm saying? We're doing the best we can. It says, and to pollute also the temple of Jerusalem, to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius, and that in garrison of Jupiter, the defender of strangers. And they did desire that dwelt in the place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots. Okay, so that is what do you call it? Orgies. All right, swinger parties, all type of weirdo shit. Okay, LGBTQ, all of that was going on. Okay, so defiling the temples, and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or an ancient fast, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. Just like even now, they have a problem with us professing that we are the Jews, right? That we are the true biblical Jews, or the Hebrew Israelites. They have a problem with that. And that's why even now we got to be like in Clark Kent mode in certain situations, right? When we're out on the highways and byways, we're Superman. We're Supermen, so to speak, for the Lord. Yahweh Shem Yahushai, who strengthens us, right? We don't come out there on our own will. We get the strength and power to do so from Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? But for the most part of our life, we're Clark Kent, so to speak. you know? So we can't profess, like, you know, we hold back our spirit, so to speak. But even then, we're still over 9,000. You know what I'm saying? Little Dragon Ball Z reference. You feel me? But, and they feel it, man. You know? You know, honestly, our presence offends not even just Edomites, it's other Israelites as well, man. It's like, oh, how come you don't smoke? What makes your life so? Why you think you better than us? You don't smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, that they don't say that, but they think these things. You know what I'm saying? What's going on in your life that you don't need to smoke, or so to speak, or whatever? You know, like you a nigga that don't smoke. You know, you a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You know. It says, and in that day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices, and when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession, and Bacchus carrying ivy. All right, that's why, you know, certain Greek fraternities, they have the reference to the ivy. I did a video on that, Judah affinity being Greek, and the ivy, what the ivy represented. Let me just pull it up quick. Presents in ancient Greece. Let's just put ancient Greece. All right, so it says the ancient Greece, the ivy leaf primarily represented Dionysus, the god of wine, revelry, and theater, which is what they're talking about. It was often associated with festivals, which included drunken frenzy and ecstasy, orgies, all of that stuff. Ivy, particularly when intertwined with grapevines, symbolizes immortality, fertility, and Dionysus' power. It says, sacred to Dionysus. Ivy was a sacred plant dedicated to Dionysus, who was often depicted wearing a crown or wreath of ivy, symbol of wine and revelry. You see what I'm saying? So now you know. Okay, so going back. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. All right, look all the wickedness that they want us to do that we actually took part in, man. Okay, and our people still take part in it today. See, back then they knew they knew the ins and outs of the wicked practices. Now Jake just does it and think, oh, it's part of my culture. Fucking goofies. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. For there were 2 women brought who had circumcised their children, whom they had openly led round about the city. The babes handling at their breasts, they cast them down headlong from the wall. See the wickedness that Esau was doing to our people? No different than after the transatlantic slave trade. All right, sacrificing our babies for using their babies as alligator bait. He could give a fuck about us. All of a sudden, he cares about us now. You fucking kidding me? You Jakes need to wake the fuck up, man. All of a sudden, the so-called white man has your best interests at fucking heart? Are you fucking stupid? Use your head, man. You're in the fucking hand of your enemies, man. What's wrong with you niggas, man? That's why the Lord's gonna kill you niggas, man. I swear. On everything, bro. The Lord has to kill 2/3 of Israel, man. Okay? Because you niggas is holding up the fucking line over here, bro. Real shit. You fucking holding up the elect salvation, man. We need to get the fuck out of here since yesterday, bro. You niggas love it here, bro. That's why you niggas gonna die here, bro. Okay? Now, I beseech those that read this book. Let's see. Verse 11. And others that had run together into caves nearby to keep the Sabbath day secretly, being discovered by Philip, were all burnt together, because they made a conscience to help themselves for the honor of the most sacred day. Now it says, now I beseech those that read this book, that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. Right? Because the Lord did all that to correct us, man. It's not for us to be scared. And then also it's for our learning, the elect's learning, to know that persecution is coming again. Persecution of the saints of Israel is coming again. All right? And that includes that's us, brothers. We're the saints. Persecution is coming unto us. So we got to build up our faith, knowing that these things are coming, man. All right? But fuck this place, man. Okay? This society promotes pure wickedness. They put money into pure foolishness. LG, HDMI, QTV, foolishness. But they can't have a functioning society where everybody has, everybody has something, a whole bunch of gatekeeping and, fuck this place, man. Who cares? You want to be one with this sodomite seed? Fuck this place. All right? You want to worship the image of the beast? Right? To hell with that. Okay? For it is a token. Let me see. Yep. Verse 13. For it is a token of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished, but not as with other nations, whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish, till they become the fullness of their sins, so dealeth with us, lest that, being come to the height of sin, afterwards he should take vengeance of us. Okay? And therefore he never withdraweth his mercy from us. And though he punish with adversity, Salakia, and though he punish with adversity, where is this? Yep, yet doth he never forsake his people. All right, that's talking about Yahweh. Verse 17, but let this that we have spoken for a warning unto us, and now will we come to the declaring of the matter in a few words. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man, and of well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. Right? So that's the spirit of these devils, man. The Greeks, all right? You Edomites, you so-called white people. That's who you are. That's your true biblical nationality. You want us to go off against our power and eat abominable meats. Okay? And you Edomites love swine, bro. Y'all niggas can't go nowhere without it, bro. Everything gotta be swine in it. To hell with swine, man. Alright, y'all niggas can't let the swine do his job, just be the cleaners of the earth. Y'all niggas is weird. You're weird, bro. You're weird. Right? But he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment, as it behooved them to come that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted. Right? Because we're coming to a time where we're gonna be without, like, this is for our learning, right? But we're coming to a time where we're not gonna be able to go to the grocery store and get food and blah 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 blah. You might get hemmed up by Esau. He has you fucking, what do you call it, in a concentration camp, or he has you in a cell or whatever, right? And you haven't eaten, and but he comes out with a plate of pork or whatever, something swine related. He's like, here, eat this. It'll keep you going. But you haven't eaten in days, right? That's why, that's why fasting is important on this side. That's why we're trusting in the spirit, having faith in Yahweh Shem Shai, right? Because what does the scripture say? Man shall not eat by bread alone. All right. These people, we're not given to the urges of our impulses, or we shouldn't be, because, and, brothers, certain brothers, whatever, brothers can eat like a 1 meal a day, maybe 2 meals. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to overdo it. But we're already pretty much practicing to be without. Brothers are fasting or eating 1 meal a day or just having shake, whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? Because just because you get hungry doesn't mean you have to eat. Sometimes you can just, and then sometimes you feel better in the morning, honestly. So I'm just saying that spirit of like going without, it's not all about like eat. We can go without as well. Right? So that's the spirit you want to have, especially in times to come, because you don't want to fall faint, fall short, and give in at a time like that near the end. Esau try and poke at you with some swine for you to eat, man. And there you go. Your crown could be taken just right there. Right? We don't want to be we don't want to fail that test. Right? We want divine intervention. We want the Lord to be with us even through death, man. You see what I'm saying? And pursuant to Psalms, is it Job 5? The Lord's going to make sure we eat, man. Okay? Good. That in so doing, he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them find favor. But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereon was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law given by Yahweh. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straightways to send him to the grave. For it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to disassemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years old and 10, that's 50. No, 80. Score is 20, so that's 90. Yeah, 4 times 20, 80 plus 10, 90. All right, 90 years old, were now gone to a strange religion, and so they through mine hypocrisy and desired to live a little time, and a moment longer, should be deceived by me, and I get a stain to mine old age and make it abominable. Right? You pretty much you die without honor. You put a abominable stain on your name. Right? If you had led your people into that, right? That's why we teach righteousness, and we want our works to follow us into heaven, and that's exactly what he knew in the spirit, man. Right? For the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead. Right? So he feared the Most High more than he feared men, because he's like, okay, I can escape judgment in the flesh, but I can't escape it in the spirit. And he knew the Lord would torment his ass, man. And that's the spirit we gotta have. We gotta know as well, man. The Lord will torment us, man. We don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta do right by him as best as we can, right? So we don't have to put ourselves in these certain situations, And brothers, like, the Lord is protecting us from a lot of things, man. The Lord, like, I'm going on a little rant now, but I don't care. It's the spirit. The Lord is protecting us from a lot of things. There's a lot of, like, issues that Jake goes through that we don't go through, man. Like, this weird 2/3 shit. Baby mama drama and all type of weird shit. I'm not saying brothers don't have a certain situation with their woman, but, like, we know how to maneuver through all of that shit. You get what I'm trying to say? We have the spirit, so we don't get caught up into that. We don't entertain that fuckery. Jake coming to me, telling me about this, all type of stories, crazy stories. You know what I'm saying? That, just weird nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? Problems that they're having and shit, like, nigga. But then they expect you to have they expect you for your life to be all as chaotic as them. It's like, bro, I can't relate, bro. It's not me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't got a story to tell like that, bro. The Lord, that's what I mean. The Lord is protecting us from a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of shit that these weirdos out here are going through. that the Lord is protecting us, that he's putting a hedge around us for, man. And I'm not saying we have this most perfect life, but I'm saying, though, we're not dealing with 2/3 shit, as a whole. We're under the curses, but we're not dealing with 2/3 shit. You know what I'm saying? Nigga shit. We're not going through all of that, man. You know? A little rant, but you know, it is what it is. It's the spirit. Let me just finish this. Wherefore now manfully changing this life, I will show myself such as one as mine age requireth, and leave a notable example to such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws. And when he had said these words, immediately he went to the torment. They that led him, changing the good, will they bear him a little before into hatred, because the foresaid speeches proceeded as they thought from a desperate mind. But when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, It is manifest unto the Lord Yahweh that hath the holy knowledge, that whereas I might have been delivered from death, I now endure sore pains in body by being beaten. But in soul I am content to suffer these things, because I fear him. Yeah, we fear the Heavenly Father, man. And thus, you motherfuckers folded at the friggin' CV-19, man. Okay? Families got split up, divorce, relationships broken up, right? So, and some people just needed a fucking excuse to just say fuck it, to give up on their relationship, man. You know? Some people just needed a fucking reason, right? To just give up. Like, honestly, I'm speaking from experience. Like, I lost my bitch around that time, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I looking back at it in the spirit, some people just needed a catalyst to be like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. You know? Fuck this, like, type shit. You know, and I know I'm not the only one, whatever. But I'm just saying, a lot of relationships got fucked up. A lot of, family relationship, whatever the case may be. Job, you lost jobs. A lot of people just needed a fucking catalyst to get rid of you. You see what I'm saying? Even during that time, jobs getting rid of people. Jobs didn't want people that define them. Let's get rid of them. You didn't want to listen. You didn't want to take part in this. You didn't want to get the job, right? A lot of you motherfuckers just needed an excuse, man. A little catalyst to give up, to bitch up. You know? You fucking IUIC telling their congregation that they can get it. Fucking ISUPK. Y'all niggas just needed a little catalyst to be a bitch. That shit was nothing, bro. That shit was nothing compared to what we're gonna come to, bro. You niggas is pussy out here, bro. You know? Come on, man. Like, all brothers in GMS could say that was a walk in the park. That was a cakewalk, man. We trusted in the Lord. We feared him. We didn't fear no man. We didn't fear what the white man was saying on the fucking TV screen, man. Fucking Fauci and them niggas, man. Goof guys that they know the scriptures, but they're not applying the wisdom of the scriptures. So I'm saying, what I mean by they know who the Israelites are. They know that they got to suppress them. They know that they're the wicked type shit. That's what I mean by they know this. You know what I'm saying? But these niggas not applying the scriptures, bro. And you're going to go and trust these assholes that put you in slavery, right? That ripped open the black woman's womb. All right? And practice anatomy on the black woman, on the black man. Right? Gynecology being practiced on the black woman. Right? As much as we get on the black woman, she's wicked, demonic. Okay? You other nations of women gonna have to pay for what the black woman had to endure, my nigga. You other nation women have to pay for what the black woman had to endure for you, in order for you to actually have a gynecologist to look at your pussy. How about that? The Lord ain't forget about that. And the black woman's still gonna die because she forgot about where she came from or where she was on the alongside with her man. Okay? But it doesn't mean that these other nations still not gonna have to pay for these things, man. Okay? Verse 31, and thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of a noble courage and a memorial of virtue, not only unto young men, but unto all his nation. Right? He's immortalized, man. And this Eleazar's of the elect, and he's immortalized, man. He's immortalized in the heavens. His spirit lives on. He's spirit around us, whoever that brother is. Okay? Why don't brothers want to be Eleazar? Everybody wants to be King David, right? You don't want to be Eleazar? Come on. That's a righteous man. Die with integrity, man. I pray the Lord gives me the spirit of Eleazar in those times, man. You know? That's the things, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the things we gotta be focused on and meditating on, man. I know all this shit, and I know people that's bitching up, okay? You know? Straight up, man. You know, I'm gonna end it off there, but, you know, shalom. Lord will, you're edified to the next.